Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for another Dadbod to Daddy training vlog, and today was leg day. I started off with squats. Now, obviously, as I've had to say in the previous vlogs, you guys know me in the past as having been a pretty strong squatter. Pretty much neglected them and my legs for a bit. Didn't take it seriously, but now we're going to rebuild all of that, particularly while I'm cutting. So what I'm doing with squats, I am just doing everything beltless. That makes everything more difficult, going below depth on everything. So yeah, it's going to be harder, particularly for me with beltless squats, because I've always been a little weaker on those. But I'm going to build it back up using all beltless work like I previously said. So I'm just going to do a little bit of heavy squatting every squat day, and now I'm just going to hammer my quads with easier exercises for volume. So really the thing is, if I just do a little bit of pause squatting and all of that, and I build my quads back up, my squat will come back up. Again, doing a little bit of powerlifting training for the lower body. The upper body is really just bodybuilder at this point. But yeah, I do want to get my squat probably back up to about 500 eventually. But I look at it from this perspective. I don't really see a need to ever have more than a 500 squat again. I even went 496 at my last meet, and that was with no sleeves. So with these, I did a triple with 345, then I did 375, 385 for singles. And again, that felt heavy enough. Those felt challenging. And yeah, I'll get it back up into the 400s. I'm just going to do some heavy squatting without burying myself on these squats, and then I'm going to just pump the hell out of my quads. And that's going to be the name of the game. So heavy work, then light work. And I'm just going to live with the fact that the squat is lower. My quads are smaller than they used to be, but I'll bring them back up. So then after that, I did one set of really long pause where I just counted like 10 seconds in my head, put 285 on the bar, held it, and then brought it up. And yes, I know with the loose skin I still have, and with the fat in it around the waistline, it's not the most flattering position, but that's okay. It's okay. We don't really hide anything here. This is all there. All right, the majority of the workout was sissy squats. So what I did with these, I'm like, look, I know I can get 20 reps. These got really hard though, because I took a couple of minutes between each set. The first set wasn't bad with 20, but by about the third set, it started getting nauseating. My quads were burning. I almost felt like by the time I got to the fifth set, I was not going to be able to do the fifth set, but I still managed to somehow squeeze out 20 reps that I didn't think I would get. It's one of those where I went and did the first couple on it, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. So this is going to be pretty much 5 minutes of video footage of sissy squatting. So here's the thing with this sissy squat. I like this because it's an exercise that I can really rep out on. It's an exercise I can chase a quad pump on, but it doesn't create a lot of fatigue through the body like the back squats do. I don't get all that spinal loading. I don't get all those things. Another reason I decided not to do calves today. I'm almost at a point where calves are just going to be like, I'm going to do them if I feel like it. As some people even pointed out, I had a couple people point out, yeah, your lats are probably your best muscle group. And then some others said, I don't know, your calves have pretty much caught them. And I can't tell that my calves have grown from the calf work. Like, I've started doing calf work off and on. I even did it dedicated for a while where I was doing 10 to 20 sets a week. They don't measure any bigger, right? And when I mean any bigger, like I think when I measured them one time, they were slightly smaller. I had lost like a 1/4 inch, because I was only measuring like the right calf. I lost a 1/4 inch after doing all that calf work. It was kind of funny. Someone who doesn't train calves starts doing calf work for months, and they measured slightly smaller, which I just thought was funny. So for me though, I've always had big calves. I haven't really ever had to train them, and I've trained them off and on. But I went, 20 years without doing a calf raise. Started doing some this last year. Training them, pretty hard too, and really didn't see a difference. I don't think visually, or definitely not measurement-wise, they didn't go up. So I'm just going to really make this mostly about quads and glutes. Of course, adductors get work also. But yeah, so my quads do need to come back up. They're still way smaller than they were. Like if you guys remember when I did that. Granted, it was high. When I did several times, I did 600 plus on the cambered bar on a squat, right? But I've also did 550 before, without using a bar like that. On a high bar, actually, I think in that same year. So my quads were definitely bigger, but I was also over 20 pounds heavier. Like I want to say about 30 pounds heavier. So I had more body fat. And a lot of times we have to remember, a lot of times what you're seeing in quads and around quads can be body fat. But they'll come back up. I'm just going to work them. But it's not the biggest priority for me right now. I've had massive legs before. I've had a massive squat before. This can do pump work. I'll bring them back up some. But really things like my arms, my pecs, that's the stuff that really I feel like needs the most work. That's why my chest and tricep day I feel like is the most important day for me. Because as I look at things, we know my arms need work. I feel like my shoulders are pretty good. As I get leaner, my delts will pop more. Because certain days you'll see angles to where they do look capped, and then other days they don't. So I think a lot of that's just, fat, fluid retention, all that. So as I get leaner, they'll be good. But I train them pretty hard right now. But I feel like when I look at stuff, we know arms have always been a weak link. They've gotten a lot better though. But my pecs, and so I really feel like the pec and tricep day needs to be the most important. I've de-emphasized lats a bit. It's like I only do 6 sets for my lats a week. I only do 6 sets, and it's all really movements that use the biceps hard. I've gone over to all supine grip. So again, as I continue to get leaner, those are the areas I need to work on. It's mainly just going to be arms and chest, right? Arms and chest. Because I feel like my chest isn't as proportionate now. It's not where it needs to be, and that's okay. It's not from the side view, my rib cage makes it look big, but from that front view, I can tell I need thicker pecs. So doing all the chest and tricep work will help bring all of that up. But yeah, so had to change topics because we don't want to just talk about sissy squats for 5 minutes straight. So I did these, and I did 1 set of hanging leg raises. Got 12 reps again like I did yesterday. So just called it at 1 set. Overall, pretty happy with the workout. Went exactly how I expected. Got a hell of a pump in my quads. Stimulated but didn't annihilate. So happy with the workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.